For the last 2 decades, the 9mm Luger has been the comfort food of the firearms world. It is the safe bet, the middle of the road, the good enough for your grandfather and good enough for the police. But we are standing in the middle of 2026, and good enough just isn't cutting it anymore for the modern shooter who demands every possible advantage. Look around you. Material science has evolved. Propellant chemistry has peaked. We are seeing pressures and velocities that were unthinkable in a carry gun just 10 years ago. Yet, every day on the forums and at the local gun shop, I see people clinging to the 9mm like it's a sacred relic. Today, I'm not here to tell you that the 9 is dead. It's not, but I am here to tell you that it's being outclassed, outpaced, and outperformed by a new breed of ballistic contenders. We aren't just talking about niche rounds for the basement dwellers. We're talking about calibers that provide more rounds in the mag, more kinetic energy on target, and a flatter trajectory that turns your handgun into a surgical instrument. Some of these are brand new tech that's finally matured, and some are old legends that have been resurrected by modern engineering. The debate is loud, the data is cold, and the range is hot. We're about to. Federal Magnum was engineered specifically to kill that compromise. Technically speaking, we are looking at a high-pressure, supercharged, small-bore cartridge that operates at pressures up to 45,000 psi. That is significantly higher than your standard 9mm. What that means for you at the range is a projectile, usually around 100 or 115 grains, screaming out of a 3-inch barrel at over 1,400 feet per second. Because the casing is thinner than a .38, you can fit an extra round in a small frame revolver like the Ruger LCR or the S&W 64-2. You get 6 rounds of Magnum level energy in a package that usually only holds 5. Furthermore, the versatility is unmatched. A handgun chambered in .327 Federal Magnum can also safely fire loud. The high-pressure nature means you're going to see more flame cutting on the top strap of your revolver over thousands of rounds compared to a standard 9mm. And while the recoil is theoretically lower than a full house .357 Magnum, the snap is fast and sharp. It's a high-frequency vibration that some shooters find more stinging than the heavy push of a larger bore. But in 2026, with modern recoil-reducing grips and better defensive loads, the .327 is proving that 9mm isn't the only way to carry a lot of fight in a small package. Number 6, 22 WMR. A caliber that used to be relegated to farm guns and varmint hunting, but in 2026, it is causing a massive stir in the defensive community. We are talking about the 22 WMR, or as most of us know it, the 22 Magnum. Now, I know what the stop power purists are going to say, it is just a rimfire. But before you roll your eyes, look at what is happening on the manufacturing side. The 22 Magnum is a completely different animal than your standard 22 LR. We are talking about a lengthened casing that holds a lot more propellant, pushing a 40-grain jacketed hollow point to nearly 1,200 feet per second out of a short 2-inch concealed carry barrel. When you move that up to a 4 or 5-inch barrel, you are seeing velocities that start to mimic rifle performance. The key here is the sectional density and the modern projectile plating. In 2026, we have specialized defensive loads designed to expand reliably at lower velocities while still reaching that critical 12 to 15 inches of penetration in ballistic gelatin. We are talking about virtually zero muzzle flip. You can put 5 rounds into a group the size of a silver dollar in under 2 seconds because the sights simply do not move. For shooters who struggle with arthritis or those who just want the fastest follow-up shots humanly possible, this beats a snapping in 2026 has narrowed that gap significantly. The other downside? Cost. You're going to pay almost as much for premium 22 Magnum defensive ammo as you would for 9mm. But when you factor in the lack of recoil fatigue during long training sessions, a lot of shooters are deciding that a hit with the 22 Magnum is worth way more than a miss with a 9mm. Number 5. 380 ACP, the little brother that finally grew up. For years, the 380 was mocked as a mouse gun caliber. 80 ACP is just a shortened 9mm Browning. It uses the same .355-inch diameter bullet, but with a lighter projectile, usually between 80 and 95 grains, and a lower chamber pressure. In the past, the trade-off was that if the bullet expanded, it didn't penetrate, and if it penetrated, it didn't expand. But 2026 technology has changed the game. New fluted, non-expanding projectiles use fluid dynamics to create massive, permanent wound cavities without needing the bullet to mushroom at all. This allows the 380 to punch way above its weight class while maintaining a very manageable pressure curve. You can build a 380 on a micro frame that is significantly thinner and lighter than even the smallest 9mm in the car because it's too bulky. The market is voting with its wallet, and the 380 ACP is winning over thousands of former 9mm loyalists who are tired of dressing their outfit around their gun. Number 4, 357 SIG, the Bottleneck beast that refuses to go quietly into the night. If you've ever wanted the ballistic performance of a 4-inch Magnum revolver, but you absolutely demand the 15+1 capacity of a modern duty pistol, this is your round. While the 9mm has been the safe choice for years, the 357 SIG is what you carry when you expect to face hard barriers and need a round that won't deflect or fragment on impact. The engineering behind the 357 SIG is fascinating. It's essentially a 40 S&W casing neck down to hold a 9mm projectile. This Bottleneck design is the secret sauce. Because the bullet is smaller than the rear of the chamber, the feeding reliability is arguably the best in the world. The bullet has a massive funnel to slide into, which virtually eliminates the failure to feed malfunctions that can plague some flat-nosed 9mm rounds. Chemically, we are using much slower burning powders here to push a 125 grain bullet to a staggering 1,350 or even 1,400 feet per second. In 2026, that translates to over 500 foot-pounds of energy, roughly double what you get out of a standard 380, and significantly higher than almost any 9mm Luger load on the shelf. Barrier blindness. Whether it's heavy clothing, car doors, or windshield glass, the 357 SIG maintains its flight path and kinetic energy better than almost any other handgun caliber. This is why elite law enforcement agencies and the SOCOM community have kept it in their inventory for so long. At the range, you'll notice the trajectory is laser flat. If you're taking a shot at 50 or even 75 yards, you don't have to worry nearly as much about bullet drop as you would with a slower 9mm. It turns your handgun into a legitimate mid-range tool. Now, let's talk about the debate. This round is violent. The slide velocity on a 357 SIG pistol is much higher than a 9mm, which means your recoil springs and your frame pins are under a lot more stress. You're going to be replacing those wear parts every 3,000 rounds instead of every 5,000. Then there's the snap. The recoil isn't just a push, it's a high velocity crack that can be fatiguing during a 300 round training course. But for the guys who want Magnum power in a Glock or a P320 platform, the 357 SIG is the king of the mountain in 2026. Number 3, 5.7 by 28. We have a round that has completely transitioned from a niche PDW caliber to a mainstream 9mm killer. For a long time, the 9mm crowd laughed at this as a glorified .22, but with the explosion of new platforms in 2026, nobody is laughing anymore. This round is redefining what personal defense looks like for the modern shooter. The 5.7 by 28 is a marvel of miniaturized rifle ballistics. It's a centerfire bottleneck cartridge that fires a very light, very fast projectile, usually around 27 to 40 grains. What makes it special in 2026 is the projectile design. We aren't just using target FMJs anymore. We have high-tech tumbling rounds and polymer-tipped jacketed hollow points that stay stable in flight but yaw and fragment the moment they hit organic tissue. Operating at pressures north of 50,000 psi, this little round is pushing out of the muzzle at over 2,000 feet per second in some setups. That is rifle territory in the palm of your hand. Capacity and weight. A standard-sized handgun that would hold 15 rounds of 9mm will easily hold 22 or even 25 rounds of 5.7. You are carrying nearly 50% more ammunition in the same physical space. And the weight? You can carry 3 loaded magazines of 5.7 for the same weight penalty as 2 magazines of 9mm. On the range, the recoil is non-existent. It feels like you're shooting a laser beam. For women, elderly shooters, or anyone who wants to put a wall of lead downrange with surgical precision, the 5.7 is the ultimate answer. The price of admission. Even though prices have come down in 2026, 5.7 ammo still costs more per round than your bulk pack 9mm. The debate always comes back to stopping power. Critics argue that a 40 grain bullet just doesn't have the thump of a 147 grain 9mm. But the rebuttal from the 5.7 camp is simple. I can put 5 rounds of 5.7 in the same hole in the time it takes you to recover from one shot of 9mm. It's the speed and volume versus mass and momentum debate. And in 2026, speed is winning a lot of converts. Number 2, 10mm, the caliber that simply refuses to compromise. We are talking about the 10mm auto. If the 9mm is a scalp, the 10mm is a slug. Technically, the 10mm is a masterpiece of internal ballistics. It's a straight-walled cartridge that operates at pressures up to 37,500 psi, while a 9mm is typically pushing a 124 grain bullet at maybe 1,100 feet per second. A full-powered 10mm load can hurl a massive 200 grain hard-cast lead projectile or a 180 grain jacketed hollow point at over 1,200 feet per second. That translates to muzzle energy exceeding 700 foot-pounds. To put that in perspective, you are carrying nearly double the punch of a 9mm in a handgun that is essentially the same size as a Glock 17. This is a do-it-all caliber. In 2026, you can carry a 10mm for personal defense against human threats in the city, and with a simple magazine swap to heavyweight bear loads, you have a legitimate hunting and woods defense tool. It punches through thick clothing, windshields, and heavy bone with an authority that the 9mm simply cannot match. On the range, modern compensated models like the S&W M&P 10mm or the SIG P320 X10 have tamed the beast, making it feel more like a 45 with an attitude rather than a wrist breaker. That physics is a cruel mistress. That massive energy comes at a price. 10mm guns undergo significantly more frame stress and slide battering than 9mm platforms. You have to stay on top of your maintenance, checking your recoil assemblies every 2,000 rounds, and ensuring your grip technique is flawless. If you limp wrist a 10mm, it'll let you know. The debate in 2026 is whether the average shooter actually needs that much power. But as the saying goes, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and be holding a 9. Number 1, 30 Super Carry. The round that was designed from a blank sheet of paper to do. Losing your sight picture? Why wouldn't you? Technology doesn't care about our nostalgia. It only cares about what happens when that firing pin hits the primer and the lead starts moving downrange. My advice? Don't be a fanboy for a head stamp. Be a student of the craft. Take one of these calibers out for a test drive. Feel the snap of the 5.7. Witness the raw authority of the 10mm, or experience the efficiency of the 30 Super Carry for yourself. Your life might one day depend on the choice you make at the gun counter today. If you found this breakdown helpful, or even if you just want to tell me why I'm wrong about your favorite Glock 19, I want to hear it. Let's keep the conversation respectful, technical, and focused on the facts. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay sharp.